As many have reported on in the last few weeks, it does appear that the PlayStation 5 is getting a little bit of tinkering done with its internals moving forward. According to digitimes.com, it does appear that suppliers and manufacturers are gearing up for a new version of Sony's newest flagship console. A quick note before we move forward. Please consider subscribing and enabling all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. And while you're at it, also, please click the like button if you enjoy the video. It really helps us out. And with that out of the way, let's begin. But before you get irritated that the $500 box you just bought a couple months ago is already being made obsolete, or getting your hopes up for a PS5 Slim or Pro, let's just take a second and realize what this is. Neither a bad or good reaction is needed in this case, at least at this point. So far, all we know from the supposed rumor is that the processor is getting swapped out with a different version that might be easier to produce in the wake of the semiconductor shortage the global electronics manufacturing sector finds themselves in as a result of the pandemic. This is widely speculated to be for that reason, but it could also be just another benign cost-cutting measure for Sony that anybody who's been around the block with PlayStation a few times should feel familiar with. PlayStation consoles regularly undergo certain revisions and the swapping out of parts as new, more efficient parts become cheaper and/or more accessible. The PS1 had multiple revisions before we even knew a slim model was coming, with one adding an expansion port in the back and another adding different video outputs, and eventually all of those ideas being on the same console as the parts for those things became cheaper to produce and easier to acquire.
Liquid? No, you're not. Don't move!
Is this the first time you ever pointed a gun at a person?
Even consoles that predated the PS1 had plenty of minor revisions here and there to help make their console a more and more attractive item for players to buy while still keeping production costs at a manageable level for the company making them. Same for the PS2. Sony's PlayStation 2 had over 6 different revisions throughout its life, and most of those versions of the console would provide no noticeable differences to the end user in terms of what the console could do or how it would do it. Very few of the revisions would incorporate something physically noticeable about the appearance or the capabilities of the systems. As far as the vast majority of gamers were concerned, both systems, the PlayStation and PlayStation 2, would be changed multiple times on the inside in ways that didn't affect performance in any noticeable way, but somehow either made the system cheaper to produce, easier to produce, or both. With this and many versions of each system out there, you'd think they would have changed more than they did, but they were so incremental in nature that it almost went totally unnoticed. And don't even get me started on the PS3.
A world that lives in high definition and transcends imagination. We have shown you that PlayStation 3 is the most advanced computer entertainment system in the world.
The truth is, not every revision is particularly important or even worth taking note of at all. Especially so in this case, considering that this new revision of the PlayStation 5 hasn't even officially been confirmed by Sony to be real yet. Given Sony's history with doing this with their gaming consoles on a relatively regular basis, one could reasonably surmise that a revision for the PlayStation 5 is inevitable within the next year or so. So the rumor here that we'll be getting an ever so slightly different version of the console soon isn't really off base at all. In fact, it would probably be more surprising if they didn't have a revision or two before we actually hear anything about a PlayStation 5 Slim or a PlayStation 5 Pro. Usually Sony tries to let a console breathe for at least 3 years or so before an actual new model is released to the public. This is smart because it helps avoid the two outcomes that we discussed earlier. People either being irritated that the box they just invested in is now outdated, or people holding off on buying the console because they just want to wait for a new, more superior model. This particular pattern in Sony's production habits is going to naturally appear a bit strange to somebody who isn't familiar with it though, especially in the year 2021, where every single thing these companies do is amplified across social media and gaming media websites. But noise aside, if the rumor turns out to be true, it's probably going to be much to do about nothing. Of course, that's not to say that a PlayStation 5 Slim or a PlayStation 5 Pro aren't on the way or being planned right now as we speak. They almost certainly are. And when those things do come to light, I'll be the first one there expressing my excitement for them and dissecting every little piece of information about them that I can possibly get my hands on. But until then, it's really not worth it to waste our energy and speculation on such small, benign changes that are occurring with the PlayStation 5 to either sidestep production problems caused by the pandemic or just routine changes that are done to beef up profit margins.
It's your passion as fans of gaming that drives us to deliver a truly new generation of experiences on PS5. From everyone at PlayStation, we appreciate your continued support, and we look forward to you getting your hands on PS5 very soon.
That's all for now. If you enjoy what you saw, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, now is a great time to subscribe. We upload brand new videos every single day. After subscribing, don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time, right here on GamingBolt.